States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Are there any questions? Just 2 items. Now I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Approve the consent agenda.
Second. So moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Not none.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Nothing under old business. So Brad, I hope you brought some water to drink. You got lots to go through. Starting with the stormwater rehab.
So the stormwater rehab is concerning the alley that is behind the library that extends down to the police station. One of the big problems that we have with that alley is the continuous source of complaints from the library especially, but also for it can cause problems with our police vehicles as well. Is that we're washing out that rock that sits in that alley, and it washes it down. It creates big ruts, big holes. I believe that the library's handicap access is in the back, and so I know that's been a continuous source of the complaints. And we go up there many times a year to kind of try to fix it as best we can. However, leaving that alley as rock is not a long-term solution to that to this problem. The main problem is we have a lot of water running from it'd to the west there from where the old Casey's lawn is, because it's all concrete up there. So a lot of water runs down that way. Really, the best solution that we can come up with, and I've talked this over with the staff that we have, street department, and they think that the best solution that we have is to go ahead and make that alley concrete from the street, from Fifth Street, all the way down to kind of right past where the parking lot is there. And that was actually budgeted for this year. The budget for that was $26,000 for this year. That was coming out of police, I believe. And the quote came in right at $28,190.60. So it's pretty close to the budget, and we have enough room within like the street department budget to cover the brass. But I just feel like this is a project that needs to happen. This will help with some of our maintenance of our vehicles, and plus this will help the library out tremendously, give them good access to their building. Well, what they've asked of us is that we just don't do this in July. I believe they're going to be fixing their elevator in July, so we could either do it before or after. But I believe that I believe the plan is that it would be done before July. So.
And just to clarify though, Brad, you're jumping over to the police station library alleyway, that's separate.
Sorry.
Well, no, let's go ahead and finish the library. I mean, we've already got through that. It's okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Completely different. And do we want to have it fixed before? I don't know how many big trucks and stuff will be coming in to do the, or will this be normal traffic?
It'll be normal traffic. We should be fine there.
So.
I'm not sure what you're asking, Mayor. Are you asking if they do the concrete work before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's not a big deal, I mean, just whatever fits in.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this, I don't know, since I've been on this.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had the wrong one in my head.
We'll still get to it all, it's okay, so.
I think, may I say something? I think since we don't take care of alleys, that it's probably important to let the residents know why we're taking care of this.
We've got 2 businesses there. We have the library and the police station, so I think that.
Yeah, I agree. When those questions come, we'll make sure that those are answered.
Okay.
And the handicap access, I think, is very important for our library patrons. And that would make things easier, so.
You're gonna curb the sides of it to contain the water.
I believe that I believe that did include, I'd have to. Well, I don't know if it's-
They got curb on. the-
Yeah, I think that Clerk's is from the south side of that house, now they can take that water.
Do we need a motion?
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the police station, library, alleyway repairs. So,
For the amount of $20,190.60.
got it.
1 second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the police station, library, alleyway repairs. Any further discussion? No.
All in favor?
All opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Stormwater.
All right, now I'll move on to stormwater. Okay, so South Third Street, it would be south of Kickapoo, between Kickapoo and Potawatomi Street on Third Street. We've done quite a bit of drainage work in that area before. We have the big tube that sits on the south side of Potawatomi. We have the smaller tube that sits on the west side of Third Street. One of the major problems that we're having here, and we have multiple residences, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen pictures, when it rains really hard. It can completely flood out and it'd be Lawford sits down there. There are a lot of problems that it causes for residents down in that area. Honestly, it's one of the worst spots in town as far as storm drainage goes. Knowing that was the case, we budgeted $50,000 for that project this last year. I had our staff go down and measure out how much tubes that we would need in order to do our part of the project, and then we could work with storm drainage, setting boxes, concrete work that needs to be done in that area. But just the pipe alone, the pipe and the fittings alone, which will also include replacing a tube that's on Potawatomi Street on the north side of the road, because that tube is plugged, it causes a lot of problems. We're gonna try to tie everything into the south side of Potawatomi, because that's a very large tube, which would help tremendously. So this should really help in a lot of moderate rate events. This is all work that's going to be completed by city staff. As far as the tube work goes, we'll work with local contractors to do the concrete work and figure out what's best there. But this is just asking for $20,770.80 in order to order the tubing and the fittings that we need in order to complete part of the portion of this work. And we just want to get this into, we get this coming so that we can get going with this.
It feels good to finally get something done. That's another thing we've been continuing to talk about, so
Yes,
it'll be,
So we could have tubes running parallel with Third Street on the east side and then cover that up. So there's no big open ditch. Is that
yes, that is the plan.
okay? Great.
I'll entertain a motion.
I can look to approve the purchase of material of amount of $20,770.80 from any pay drainage and office. Well, second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the stormwater rehab project. Any further discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Now we're on to the airport lighting project update.
The airport lighting project, this is part of our K9P project for the KDOT that we were awarded to install runway lighting on both runways. There was a lot of information in the packet. Where we're at right now is that we're ready to go to bid. Bids have been submitted to suppliers and contractors. And those bids should be coming in for us on March 25th. We open those at 5 p.m. And so I'll have something ready for that first meeting in April. As far as awarding those bids go, like I said, there's a lot of information in that packet concerning that airport project. And this is really just kind of informational. If anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any.
I noticed the rotating beacon is an option.
It is an option. What happened is we had budgeted for a $500,000 project this year. This is awarded from a previous year's KIP. They had some money left. And so this is awarded at a previous year's estimate. And so our engineer is afraid that just our base bid is going to come in at, near the top of that estimate. And so we'll just have enough money to do better light this year, but we thought it was a good idea to leave a rotating beacon in just in case that our prices come in better, and that we can go ahead and move forward with that as well.
Be interested to see what the bids come in at, so,
It will be.
any other questions? Okay, moving on to first report.
There's been a lot of movement since last week's informational meeting on Monday. We've had a meeting with KDOT on Tuesday. And when I wrote it Friday, after and I'll get to that, but when I wrote the update on Friday, I said that I hadn't heard back from KDOT on that, but I did. I attached that email to the agenda itself. Jason Hoskinson from BG Consultants, he got back with us after the meeting as well. I printed out what he said. Well, he was. Doesn't give you to us. Some of what his thoughts were. And so in that email, he's kind of explaining where he's seeing his estimates of some of the pricing that's coming in. And it's just from it looks like he's been through a few different projects in Lawrence that bids have come in at. He was talking in this email about the possibility of upgrading First and Iowa. And mostly that's what was contained in this email. Also on Friday, I believe I put this to packet, but I met with Mr. Tesserero up there at First and Oregon. We had a really good meeting, and I learned a tremendous amount in a short period of time. It was cold, but it was worth it. And there's a lot that we learned up there that day as far as, like, say, what water options could be, as far as the signals go up there. And of course, all that's depending on what we can do with KDOT, what kind of permits that we can get, and what we need, and and how we move forward. Does anybody have anything to add?
I'd just like to add that the signals are in actually pretty good shape. All the wire underneath is all in electrical conduit, and it would be very easy to put new wiring in those. So I would love to investigate that.
From what we could tell up there, it looks like maybe there was a project done at some time, because all the conduit, what he's speaking to is all the conduit underground, so you can see. It looks like that was probably updated from the late 70s. So there had to been some kind of an upgrade project at some point. So what he's speaking to, the conduit, is correct.
I think I've asked you this before. Do you think the poles on Iowa can be reused as is?
I think that's possible since they exist. I think that's a fixable. We could probably fix the lead on that pole. I think it's possible since those poles exist. As far as like upgrading the ped heads, the pedestrian heads up there are, and if we decided to put detection up there, I think all that's possible. I had been in contact with JD Sales out of Wichita, which they do a lot of the controller things like that. They actually sell us our signal lights whenever we do buy. But he's supposed to be up here this week to meet with me. We're going to go over the Iowa signal and kind of look at that, see what we would need to upgrade that, how much that kind of come up with the cost, a total project. But I do believe that we could, as of right now, as long as, as it stands, that those poles could stay since they're operational. Our major problem with First and Oregon continues to be that we don't have a pole on the southwest corner. And so we would have to work through that. And I'm just trying to move in multiple different directions as far as whatever decisions made on the future of that corridor. continued, one of the options that was given to the city in the Tuesday meeting was something that's called a pedestrian hybrid beacon. They've been installing these a lot in the state of Kansas. These are actually regulatory. They hang out over, they look a lot like a stoplight, but they're different. Because they're just for crosswalks. And what these do, they actually stop traffic instead of the rapid flashing beacons that, you know, just kind of warn people that there's somebody there. These will actually stop traffic there. So I'm looking into those two.
What's it called again?
A pedestrian hybrid beacon. They're commonly called Hawks by members of KDOT, but the correct term is pedestrian hybrid beacon. They gave us a list of known applications. There's one that's really interesting to me. It's in Lewisburg, Kansas. It's adjacent to their school. Lewisburg was in the same kind of the same boat as Hiawatha here. They really wanted signals, traffic signals, at that location because their school was there, and they ended up going with these pedestrian hybrid beacons. This pedestrian hybrid beacon is something that we could look into funding for, and really was another one of KDOT's points when they came here to that meeting, is that they wanted to let us know that these opportunities are there regardless of what decisions made. And so there's a lot of upgrades that need to be done along that corridor. I think that we could all agree with that. Sidewalk, you know, connecting our low-income housing to the center part of town. Right now, we often have residents walking down the middle of the highway just to get into town because there's no sidewalks there for them to do so. And there's a lot of grant funding opportunities out there. And so I'm also moving in that direction as well, trying to make sure that we have, no matter what decisions made, we're gonna hit the ground running and hopefully get something done. Any other questions?
If you're looking at that light, I'm not ready to give up on it yet, and so I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we decline the recommendation of KDOT's road diet, and that we leave our intersection the way it is. And we move forward and try to get our light fixed.
So you making a motion on it?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
So moving a second to deny what KDOT has proposed as far as the road diet. Is that safe to say? The discussion I'm gonna add to that was a piece that we didn't find out until this last meeting, is that they are gonna be chip sealing the road regardless. We don't have to come to a decision yet on how we're gonna restripe that road until later. I mean, we originally thought it was supposed to be by now.
Yeah.
And because we don't have to make that decision, the way I see it, we're still moving ahead either way. So
Either they're table it for the time being until we have more time to look at more options and whatnot.
Well, I think the public has spoke up about this enough that it's very, I have not had anybody say that they want it. And we've had, there was a whole 20 kids at that light today posting on Facebook saying that they want to keep it. And I think that that's very important. And I think that, we've already it's on the table, so we should vote on it. I mean, it's already been seconded. I think it's good to have everybody show where you're at on it too. I mean, I think it's important for me, and I want to keep it.
And I agree, there was quite a bit of discussion Monday. I also had people, I mean, I'm hearing from both sides too. I'm hearing that keep it here, road diet's fine, so. I don't know, so is there any other discussion, anything any of us supposed to add?
Yeah, I have something to say. I'm glad that you guys had a meeting Tuesday. But what I don't appreciate is getting this a week later. We should have gotten this last week so that we could digest it. The rest of us here on the dais. For that is one of the reasons why I think that we should go on with the vote. The other reason is I think we're jumping at this, even though we've been working at it for 2 years. I don't think that the road diet is the solution. I think that, I think that we're kowtowing to KDOT, and I think it's just not the right thing to do. I think that there's a solution out there, but this is not it.
And I'm certainly not at that solution yet, saying that's what we need to do. I just don't want to tie Brad's hands as he's looking at every possible thing he can do to say that something's been completely taken off the plate. I mean, because we're not voting on that, yes, we definitely want it. I mean, we still have plenty of time to decide that. So my main thing is I hate to close off any options until we have a better idea.
Well, I would like Brad to be able to start trying to get that light fixed. And I think that needs to happen tomorrow.
I think your hands, I feel like your hands are tied. And I think that KDOT is holding that. I think they're the ones that's keeping your hands tied. They gave you options. They gave us 4 options. Take it or leave it.
You give me the direction and that's the direction I'm going.
I understand that and I appreciate that. But those are the options they gave us, and our hands are tied.
Yep.
You take it, you leave it. We're not doing anything else you want us to do. The state won't fund you unless you do this. That's crap. We're taxpayers. We didn't just fall off a turnip truck. We aren't country bumpkins. We've been around a while. We can make a decision what we want to do. And what we will do is what is best for the city and the community. And God forbid anything happen to one of our children. It's not if it happens, it's when it happens, because it is going to happen. A fatal accident is going to happen.
You will get no disagreement with me of anything you say.
And I feel like the state is trying to tie our hands. When the governor's office will not even respond, something's wrong.
The thing I'm a little nervous about is if we make this decision now and we decide that we need to repair the lights, well, and like I said, KDOT has said all along, we can have the lights, but we're going to get paid for them. That's a big concern because, I mean,
And like they said at the meeting, and I hear, Mayor, what you're saying, but how much, what is the dollar sign for somebody's life?
see, and I really dislike that because there can be an accident tomorrow with the way it is. I mean, to say that I'm choosing the value of somebody's life, that's not fair.
You've not lost a child.
No, I haven't. But to say that I would put value on somebody's, I mean, that's.
I'm not saying you. I'm not pointing at you. I'm saying us as a commission, us as a city.
And like I said, I've looked at those lights myself and I know that there's potential there and I know that they can be fixed and I think that we could fix it pretty quick too.
I know that there's one way or another, lights can be had in a first order. It just depends on how that happens. And if that's the direction we want to move, then that's the direction we move.
Wasn't there the understanding that if we are to just fix them the way they are, then we're opening the city up to liability? Is that fair enough to say or no?
It depends on, it is fair to say that. The lights that are out there now, outside of a pole being on the southwest corner, would open the city up to liability just because they're not up to code. And so it really, like I said, what we need to focus on, if that's our goal, is somehow getting a pole back up on the southwest corner.
Well, we can do the option of turning one of the signals that Richard was talking about. Can we do that?
I'm not sure about that. We would have, that's something that we would have to investigate closely to make sure that that's legal before we would go down that option. I'm not saying that's not an option. I'm just saying it would need further examination.
Any other discussion?
I've spent quite a bit of time researching this road diet, and I'm not convinced that I am convinced that it has a lot of safety benefits that we currently don't have. With that said, I still would like to pursue the traffic lights if we can, or at least do the study that KDOT's offered for the pedestrian crossings. I'm sure we can improve that greatly by a long ways, and there's funding for it. What I'm concerned about is that, yeah, everybody would like traffic lights and this and that, and we've got to build it per KDOT's, per the code or KDOT's requirements. I don't know how we're going to pay for it. So we can either add more sales tax, we can issue bonds, and everybody's property taxes will go up even more than what we did last time. I'm just not convinced that.
But he had a bid,
that answer.
he had a bid for $30,000 for a point.
I did, and that bid for $30,000 is part of that bigger proposal that KDOT wouldn't allow because what they have said multiple times in their emails to me as I argued this with them was that they weren't going to accept a piecemeal type of a fix at that intersection. What they would require, and they stated it multiple times, is all new construction there. And so like I said, I argued that, trying to get those fixed for, the better part of the year. Well, no, I wouldn't say that's true. Probably really, it felt like longer, but honestly, it was probably just more like a few months. We've been going down this current road for about, I should say. But the conclusion that we came to after we got past the local and regional, when we got up to or somebody higher up in KDOT, was that the only way that they would accept or permit something was all new construction.
Well, and there's always a possibility we can get a grant for that too, but I think just closing the door for this is not the best path. Because
We can always look at funding.
look at funding over the next couple of years for try to get a grant for it and make it happen. Just not willing to, the road guy, you're basically losing both signals, and that's just, I think we can take them out.
I don't see that they're tied together. They have no diet and things.
The arms are eliminated, so you can't do it. They have to come out, is what I was told. I mean, if you got different information than I do.
That was my understanding.
Yeah, because nothing's gonna line up.
Yeah, they've got to have their signals or rework the ones we have. Is that right, Brad? We have lights.
In order to make that work with the road diet, yes, we would have to rework the ones that we have in Iowa. One of the big downfalls of the signal in Iowa, although the poles exist, would be what I'm being told is that those are 4-volt poles, and that if we wanted to upgrade, KDOT would likely want us to go to a 6-volt pattern, and so that would mean replacing those poles.
So if we just leave it the way it is, work on getting the grant.
What grant, do you know of any grant money? I mean, so far, all I've heard of the grant money is tied to KDOT
The only
and
grant,
transportation.
the only grant money that I'm aware of at the moment is it's a KCC grant. But this grant isn't total pole replacement. Really, all this would pay for are the LED lights. And so you're talking that the city would be, eligible for 5,000 to 10,000, something like that on those, on that grant, probably something like that. I really want its focus for is energy savings off of going from incandescent or, lighting downtown, which we've already done this, but going to LED lighting and making lighting more efficient. Really, that's what the KCC grant is geared towards, although I can't say that we turned anything off of it. But that's the only grant that I'm aware of. The only other grants that I'm aware of that we can pay for light poles with are usually KDOT programs.
We've been pretty clear about that.
Well,
So,
grant writer said that there are options there. And
Yeah,
talked into it.
I talked to him today as well.
so I guess the other question I would have for you, Brad, I mean, have you been looking at both ways, looking at how we can fix it versus looking if we did, I mean, are you looking at all possibilities or are you just focusing on the road diet?
I've been looking at all possibilities because where I've been at, as far as where we've been going with this, is I know that this was going to be a tough decision to make. And so I needed to get all the information I could to everybody all the commissioners to make that decision. And what I've been going towards and why I'm talking to JD Sales and why we're still in contact with BG consultants and things like that, is because no matter what decisions made, we need to be able to move forward, I think, relatively quickly. And so we have to figure out a way, no matter what that decision is, to move forward. And really, pointing city staff in a direction that we can get down is a good thing to do.
Brad,
Nope.
you have done an amazing job. I am so proud of you. You're the only one I know that could handle this. You have looked into more stuff and you've come up with more. Just say thank you.
I really appreciate it, trust me. I mean, it's good to hear. It's been a long journey. I think that everybody can, see that, but there's still a lot of work to do. I know there is. I know there's a long road ahead, but no matter what decision was made, it's going to be a long road ahead. And there's still many more opportunities that we have. So thank you.
I mean, because of that, because I trust Brad with what he's doing, and like I said, I don't know which way to go either. I just am not ready to say a definite no on anything when we don't have to. If it was that we had to make this decision tonight, then I would probably be a little bit more receptive to it, but we don't have to make this decision. So I'm gonna trust Brad to continue doing what he's doing, looking at every possible grant opportunity, repair opportunity, whatever, and he knows way more about KDOT and how we have to balance that too with the legalities of it. So I'm not saying yes or no to anything, and I'm just saying I want to give Brad the opportunity to continue to work under the parameters he has now. So that's just my opinion. Anybody have any other discussion?
I would just like to be able to turn Brad loose and have him get this light fixed. And so we've got a motion in a second, so let's just vote. And
So I said if there's any other, Evan said you.
So what's the motion again?
to decline the recommendation of KDOT's road diet and move forward with getting our signal troubleshooter worked on.
Don? All in favor? Or can we, one by one, you only do one by one, roll call? Okay, Evans? Dave?
Nay.
Becky? Nay. Brian?
Aye.
Tony? It's been, motion passed and 3-2.
Okay, I will get to work and continue to do what I'm doing. That's all I have for.
Thank you, Brad.
Moving on to employee benefits.
Thank you again, Brad.
You're welcome.
Don, are you gonna do the inference things? And
I think I have attached everything that I possibly could on the employee benefits. I budgeted employee benefits for group health and accident for this year was $323,000. And we have a fund balance going into 2024 of $342,201. I know every option they gave you exceeds our budgeted amount for group health insurance. So what we would have to do is whatever one you accept, we would have to amend our budget to be able to use that fund balance that we have going into the.
I looked these over an awful lot and with the amount that the rates went up, I felt like moving the deductible to a $3,000 deductible and taking and the meta, is that what it? Yeah, taking that one is probably the best for the employees and the best for us too.
I have a real fear of moving to a different insurance people who promise us this great rate, and we absolutely will get it for a year. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen it where we get that rate for a year, and then just like what Blue Cross did to us before, and then all of a sudden next year they get that money back.
Well, then can you just go somewhere else? Remember is there a benefit to staying with the same company? Is what I'm saying? Like maybe we need to be bouncing back and forth between two to get the savings of $100,000.
With that being said, there's 4 available in Kansas, came in for us. They declined to bid. United declined to bid, so that left us with that number of which just like you know.
And every year we can request to go through Cayman again and see if they would.
Yes, they can take it out to bid and get our insurance bill.
And I did check and they said that our hospital is what they call that, in the network, and so there shouldn't be any problems. It's just these rates just keep going up and up, really bad.
One my comment on I think you suggested having a program, insurance that have the HSA, is that what you?
Yes,
suggested?
yes, and we would need to work something out with that.
When I was working, my company went to an HSA type program, and the first year they helped fund the deductible.
Right.
And so that would be my comment on that, if we could figure out how to at least make up the difference. Right now, they got a $1,500 deductible. It's $3,000, so if we could help fund the first year's, maybe 1,500 or whatever, to make up the difference, you put it in their account. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm decided. Either one of these, I think it's either that one or the Blue Cross age related, but that's where they're higher.
When do we have to have a decision on this by?
That's today.
So if we were to make up a deductible, is that for every employee new employee that comes on, that we would? Or is that just for this first year? If we decide to do that, to bring the deductible up to 1,500, then are we making much of a savings then? From changing from the age
It's only
rate?
it's either like $30,000 versus $100,000.
Right now, if we did the 3,000 deductible, 318 or 383, so that's 70,000 more. Then you're gonna add another 1,500 per employee. How does it go?
$5,000 difference. Over the budget. There 30 employees, don't, does that sound right?
What do you want?
31. Okay. renewal number 3, the Aetna. The first column in the Aetna's. That has similar costs and benefit with what we have in the list. $7,000.
But, I mean, I hate to say it, but even going to a $5,000 deductible, you're basically buying down your deductible. So if everybody doesn't use it, or you're kind of throwing money to, you're throwing it away because you're just kind of front loading buying your deductible down. But I don't really like a $7,000 deductible. That's too much. I feel like that 3,000 is probably a pretty decent compromise.
Might as well not have insurance if you got 7,000 deductible.
Right, yeah, it's pretty rough.
Don, correct me if I'm wrong, these figures, these total annual premium figures, that's the total. But on the family plans and the plans with child and whatnot, the employee pays part of
A
the
portion, correct.
portion of that. So
And
that's-
that is indicated currently in our packet on what's. This worksheet here in your packet
Yeah.
shows what the employee versus what the city bills.
25-75 split or something like that for the spouse.
I believe. I've heard mixed, one says 80-20, one says 75-25, so that is something I'm gonna need more clarification.
It's a word. I'm not real wild about changing companies every year either, because that is confusing. Everybody's gonna have to learn what the rules are every time.
So looking at the option C, silver, I mean, I'm just gonna close to the same. It's a $3,100 deductible.
Oh, wait, now, let me explain those four. On that far end, that is. Tiers, so it would be depending on what tiers each person wants. That's where that would fall. So. It's age-based, but it's also where they want to pay, how much they want to pay. Does that make sense?
If you pay for 100% of the employee, then that doesn't matter on that.
It would with the family and,
Exactly.
yeah, spouse or. And that's just in that quad option on the end, across the shield.
Suppose the worst gonna happen if we switch over that and then they. Come back and get their money back next year, then we're. In the same boat we are now, so. I don't know anything about the quality of Aetna insurance.
That's the city insurance.
Well, I do know that as a retired person, that supplemental insurance, they sure like to raise that every year. But I have an agent that finds me a new policy every year that's cheaper, and it's just as good as the one that raised. my rate. So, I don't know that how it is for a city, whether that makes any difference, but, or I should say a business.
But they,
But I sure don't hesitate to change it every year when it goes up to 250 and I can get it for 150.
Motion.
Just food for thought.
I'll make a motion to go to the $3,000 event plan for city health insurance. The,
You're on number 4.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to switch to the Aetna FAA alternate renewal 4 plan. Any further discussion?
About funding that. Making a contribution to the spending account. Can we pull that or?
we can just make it separate, don't you think?
Just asking. The motion is to accept that. So.
Okay, any further discussion?
in favor,
Aye.
opposed,
Motion passed 5-0.
And just put 1,500 into each employee's health savings account for this first year.
I said, is that included if we hire a new employee, do they get that, or is it just people who are on insurance right now?
I would say we just do that for now. I don't think we need to keep doing that. Once you start building an HSA, it's really pretty good, but I think that it's fair since we're giving the deductible of 3,000 to give them this one, and well, that should work out pretty good.
So is that a motion?
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to fund the HSA at $1,500 for each employee.
we'll get
Is
a
that-
notification of that being any employee. Um,
On our
open
insurance.
enrollment. That way, that will clear for the rest of the year, just the ones that open enrollment.
So you amend that, then, so it's people who basically are on our insurance now and will re-enroll in open enrollment time, so.
Which is going to be presumed.
Any further discussion?
I'm just throwing this out. If I recall, when I had this happen, when I was working, they gave the first half of that seed money for the first 6 months, and then the second 6 months, they gave the rest of that seed money. In case somebody quit the day after they got this. Just a comment.
Yeah.
That's something you should consider.
It sounds like a lot of people use our health insurance. They did say that there was 19 people that met their deductible last year. So I don't have a problem doing the upfront 1,500. Right now, because I think a lot of people are using the insurance, so.
Just thinking of somebody quit.
Yeah, if someone quits, yeah, please.
I think that, yeah, I could see that, I mean. Because you don't know somebody quits, and then if there's some unusual situation that comes up, I would imagine we'd have a discretion to do something different about it. Necessary. I guess. So then would you amend the motions where it's 750 up front, 750 at 6 months?
If we can do that.
Okay.
Second.
We've been seconded to do all that insurance stuff. Any further discussion? Don's got it.
All in favor,
Aye.
all opposed,
Motion passed. 5-0. Moving on to communications. Any questions on any of that? We just have several of our usual reports. Notice there's a couple of newsletters from the chamber and from Red Hot Booster Club. Second harvest groundbreaking ceremony is in St. Joe. And then there's just an update to all the properties that are on our resolution 2024, which is kind of nice to get updates. So I appreciate that. Even Dave's not here, I appreciate that. Any other questions? Andy, you have something? to add?
Yeah, so Jenny discovered today that our city's trash contract expired December. So we're gonna kind of hold that over, I guess. Hamilton does that for us right now. Probably need to put that out for bid. So I don't know if you want to start working on that, or we can bring that back to the March 25th meeting and put something formal together. Maybe start looking at maybe a 3-year contract instead of trash bill. That's just for the city's trash service.
So just saying either move on now or wait.
No, I don't think we need to move on it now, but I guess we could put it, if you want, we can put that out for bid so we can get it in front of the commissions.
Do you need a motion for that?
I don't think we need a motion to wait accepted.
No, we need a motion. Like I said, I guess you want to start looking at like multi-year contract.
So we go like a 3-year contract.
Okay, we'll bring something back now. Sorry, there's no real place to drop that in anywhere.
Andy, how long do you need for executive? Or how long do we need?
10 minutes.
Make a motion that the city commission recess into executive session in the conference room for 10 minutes to discuss matters regarding the issue of potential city personnel. Justification for closing the meeting is to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The open meeting will resume at 6:38 in the commission chambers, and to include the city commission and the city attorney. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Take your bid.
Good work.
Motion passed 5-0. We know you didn't call my vote.
The first motion was to find the key operator that that's and it's move forward exploring options to fix the line. First and oriented, that's okay. Just want to make sure.
Yes.
That's what overall focus is about the 32. It's one of the options to fix this.
Yeah.
Reject the road diet. Look at options to fix the.
Yeah. That's. There's a lot of that in there. That's.
Still exists. Still exists. There's summons. There's the road services.
What was your steps over there, Don?
Not there.
I didn't think so either.
It was that ice melt they put down that 1 year.
Yeah, they put ice melt down directly after the concrete.
It was before they sealed it, yes, that sealing, yeah, it was before they sealed it.
It was just destroyed in concrete if you put it in salt.
Well, they got cones out there. I wonder if the barricades would even be used. Bring them out still.
Yeah, and we'll bring them out for Friday when they have they're bringing the food truck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring them out.
The cones are. I think those are.
Yeah, but the cabin wants to put the food truck there for cabin. For an event at the Open Willow at the new place Saturday. They're gonna put on
Kind of like a
that.
grand opening type thing.
I think so. They're open now over there.
I think it's good to see that old Tyson's building being used like that. I think it's a good business to go in there too.
Well, they upgraded their building there.
Yeah.
It's great to see.
The pharmacy side is behind the wall. It's still there.
Oh, really?
The clothes is in the shopping side. And they have a wall up. I don't know what they're gonna do with the other side.
Well, it used to be there. To the out, to have the pharmacy.
Right. Read that meter every month.
Now, I'm dating myself, I'm dating myself. The pharmacy used to be
Yeah,
there.
we used to. Until we didn't.
Was it in that way you guys got needs?
Moved all the meters out front, all the meters downtown in the basement.
My brain's trying to say maybe I recall that being way in the back in the mid-nineties.
Part of that was. One big was. That's such a. No, we won't. So, yeah, is it time to take down the 2023 calendar?
I was gonna have a running bet to see who would notice
Yes,
first.
we talked about this last week.
That was too fast.
Yes. Leila, you weren't supposed to say nothing.
But yes, it is.
Now I saw it's not changing.
The other one's still on better than it. I do not know how to spell. You refer.
Wait, me?
Is it? There is.
There is a before. Yes, my husband. I don't even set my own. It's correct now again.
You get a remote over there sometime.
What?
You have something. Yeah.
Here, maybe.
You got Google, just like I did.
Nope.
Yeah.
I think you first needed.
How are you?
All right.
So, listen too,
What's that?
and I'm also well too.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the spring weather.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot better.
Better.
Thanks.
I don't know. I'm gonna try. You know. Yeah, okay, it's just don't do that to me. So.
At 6:38, make motion that the city commission is called back in an open meeting. The commission took no binding action during executive session.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Don?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. I'd also like to state at this time that we have been given Becky Berger's resignation letter. Is there a motion to accept it?
Make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the resignation of Becky Berger. Any further discussion? Not done.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Did you want to talk just?
Yeah, I would say, now that the city commission has accepted the resignation of the city administrator, the city is without a purchasing agent. I would ask the commission to consider supporting a purchasing agent or agents on a temporary basis until a new purchasing agent, city administrator.
I'll make a motion to name both Don Boyles and Brad Scott as temporary purchasing agents for the city.
Second.
Okay, and as a point of discussion, just for informational purposes, the purchasing agent for the city of Hiawatha does have the authority to make purchases up to $5,000 without the commission approval. That is not new. That has been around for a while. If this motion is for them to act independently, then each of them would have that authority until a new purchasing agent is hired.
Any further discussion? Not done.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0.
That's
Okay, governing body comments, I have none at this time. Brian? Dave? Evans?
I don't have anything.
I do. I just want to remind everybody of the fireman's pancake feed. Oh, is that the 24th? Sunday, the 25th. Oh, wait a minute, that's February. Yes, it is. It's March 24th at the firehouse. And thank the community and everybody for coming to our town hall meeting last month. That's all I have here.
There a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Any further discussions? John?
In favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Pass.